This right here is what it sounds like when you speak while paying attention to the thought groups. And this right here is what it sounds like when you speak without paying attention to the thought groups. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 853, Speaking Naturally, Thought Groups, and Pausing. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Happy English Podcast. Let me start with something I hear from a lot of English learners, and maybe even you have said or thought something like this. Some people believe that if they speak quickly, they'll sound more fluent, more like a native speaker. But here's the truth. Just because you're speaking fast doesn't mean you're speaking fluently. Fluency is not about speed. Fluency is about rhythm. It's about sounding natural with the right pauses, the right tone, and the right feeling. Think about it. If someone speaks quickly, but without pausing, without separating their ideas into clear groups, it doesn't sound fluent. It sounds rushed, messy, and honestly, kind of hard to follow. So today, I want to help you speak more naturally by focusing on something that native speakers do all the time, even if they don't realize it. And that is thought groups. Well, what's a thought group? A thought group is a short chunk of speech, a group of words that belong together in meaning. We don't speak word by word, and we don't pause after every word. Instead, we group our ideas and pause between those ideas. Here's an example. When I was a kid, I used to love playing in the park with my friends. Notice how I pause after each idea. That's a natural rhythm. Each pause is a thought group. When I was a kid, I used to love playing in the park with my friends. So, naturally, when I was a kid, I used to love playing in the park with my friends. Now, listen to the same sentence without pausing. When I was a kid, I used to love playing in the park with my friends. Wow, hard to follow, right? Even if you pronounce every word clearly, without pausing, it becomes difficult to understand. Let's try a few more. If you want to speak English naturally, you need to practice rhythm and pausing. There are two thought groups in that sentence. If you want to speak English naturally, you need to practice rhythm and pausing. Here's another one. The movie we saw last night was so good, I might watch it again. There are three thought groups in that sentence. The movie we saw last night was so good, I might watch it again. When we speak like this, it sounds smooth and clear. The movie we saw last night was so good, I might watch it again. So, why is this important? Because when you speak in thought groups, you sound more natural, more fluent, and easier to understand. It's like music. There's a rhythm to it. And that rhythm helps your listener follow what you're saying. Plus, when you listen to native speakers, they're not separating every word. But when you start recognizing their thought groups, it becomes easier to understand them even at full speed. Thought groups happen all the time in native conversations in real life. Here's how a native speaker might say something casually. "What you doing later? Want to grab a coffee?" That's two clear thought groups. "What you doing later? You want to grab a coffee?" But it might sound like one fast sentence if you're not tuned into the rhythm. Or this one, "Oh, I was going to call you, but something came up." Again, we've got two ideas. So, two thought groups. I was going to call you, but something came up. And here's a longer one. "I don't know what she said exactly, but I think she's upset." If you try saying that with no pausing, it's a total mess. But when you break it up, it becomes easy to say and easy to understand. "I don't know what she said exactly, but I think she's upset." So, you might be thinking, "Oh, Michael, how can I practice thought groups?" Well, let me give you 4 tips. First, read aloud with pauses. Yeah, I'm going to plug reading here. Take a short paragraph and read it slowly, breaking each sentence into small idea chunks, small thought groups. And the next tip related to that is to use slashes. You know, that kind of short diagonal line. That's the key next to the shift key on your keyboard, the slash. So when you read, get a pencil and draw a slash where you think a pause should go. Like, "I went to the store, but they were out of milk." "I went to the store, but they were out of milk." The third tip is to repeat what you hear. English teachers like to call this shadowing. Choose your favorite podcast, like this one, or a TV show, and repeat one sentence at a time. Match the rhythm and pauses of the speaker. And finally, you need to breathe naturally. Thought groups usually match your breathing pattern. Don't try to say an entire paragraph in one breath. All right, time to try it for yourself. Take a sentence, maybe one from this podcast, and read it aloud slowly. Add little pauses between the ideas. You'll feel the rhythm. You'll sound more natural. And trust me, your English will instantly feel smoother. If you try it out, let me know how it goes. Come say hi on social media. I'm at Happy English NY on just about every platform. Or leave a comment on the blog. Thanks for spending time with me, and be sure to practice this lesson so you can sound more natural. And if you really want to get more practice using your English, you should join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new international friends. Join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 853. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible. And I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English, please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, happy English.